G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. How are we all doing on this lovely, lovely evening? Today, I'm talking about a brand that's making moves in the motorcycle industry. You guys might have heard of them. It's called CF Moto. So, if that interests you, stick around. But without further ado, g'day ladies and gents. My name is Nathan. I make videos about motorcycles and such. And if you like my content, like, subscribe, leave a comment and all that goodness. If you want to join in on the Discord, there's a link in the description as well. And buy yourself some merch if you want some. I'm rocking the Wombat beanie. They're quite toasty. But ladies and gents, let's get into it. So, CF Moto. I'm sure you've all heard about them. They are popping up like crazy. There's a few of the more popular models, which would be the 450 SR as we get in Australia, and of course that 750 or 7 whatever hell that naked bike one is. Look man, say what you want about Chinese motorcycles and their questionable reliability, but they are getting better. I think CF Moto used to work with KTM, okay? So they've got a bit of experience making stuff, but they're making a delightful amount of motorcycles now. They essentially made the Daytona that Triumph themselves failed to give us, and they priced them very, very competitively, okay? Now, I think the 7.5 goes for just around 10-ish K, 11K. That's cheaper than the Daytona 660. Brother, there's a reason these motorcycles are becoming so popular, and it's not for a bad reason, okay? They're not becoming popular because of they're blowing up on people. They're becoming popular because they're fun, they're cheap, and they're making motorcycles people are interested in. Now, from what I'm hearing, they're looking to make a 750cc inline 4 motorcycle. That's exciting stuff, because the 750 class doesn't get as much love as it deserves, all right? It's a very good class for street riding. It's got a bit more torque than the 600s, but they're not stupidly ridiculous like the 1000s. And if you guys have been following CF Moto news, you may have noticed that they actually patented a V4. We all love a V4. Ducatis are popular, Aprilias are popular. Aprilia makes the better exhaust note and the better V4. That's just my opinion. Sure, the Ducati one might go a little faster, but the Aprilia one is the best sounding one, hands down. And the fact that CF Moto is getting a little bit in the action, whenever they bring it out, all right? I don't know when that's going to be, but I'm excited because the possibility's there. Meaning, it's probably going to be like 20,000 Australian dollars at the most for a V4 in the 1000cc class. Brother, that's ridiculous. So, CF Moto is becoming popular. They make a 450cc sports bike. Now, this 450cc sports bike rocks a cross-plane crank, okay? So, what's that mean? R7 style notes, much cheaper. I think you can get them for like $8,000. It's ridiculous. Now, they sort of rival the R3, the Ninja 400 sort of class, which is fine. They don't need to be fast. They are enjoyable, okay? They're made... Look, their build quality isn't going to blow you away. They're no fucking fancy Japanese, Italian something or other. They're just like bargain bike. Here you go, bargain bike. Bargain isn't always bad. It just means that it's easy to get. Parts, I don't know about parts. I think they might be a bit expensive from what I've actually heard through the grapevine, but why is CF Moto becoming so popular? Well, you tell me. Cheap motorcycles. They sound nice. They look objectively pretty good, I'm not going to lie. As you saw in my video yesterday, they make cruisers, they make naked bikes, they make sports bikes. Now, the cruiser, they make two. They make the CLC and the CLC Bobber. Everyone likes the Rebel for its styling and its, yes, it's bulletproof. That's the one thing it's going to beat everything else out. But the CF Moto Cruiser looks bloody good. And it does have that cross-plane crank, which does make it sound significantly better. Okay? So, you get a sports bike with that cross-plane engine. You get a cruiser with the cross-plane engine. You get the Daytona we never got from Triumph since the original. Now they're looking at making sports bikes in the upper echelon. CF Moto is not messing about when it comes to their motorcycles, and I think you're going to start seeing them pop up a lot more as time goes on, because, look man, a 675cc triple, people like that noise. It sounds good as well. I've seen a video of that thing taken off. I haven't seen any in person except for the one in the dealership, and I liked how it looked. They got a very distinct style that some people either really love or usually people think it's okay. Some people don't like it, but the usual consensus of CF Moto sports bikes are they look pretty good, and I have to agree. So I quite like how they personally look, but you know what? I don't know if I'd buy a 450. Now, that's not saying they're bad. I'm coming from the perspective of I've already ridden a 471 this whole time. If I'm going to upgrade motorcycles, personally, I'm not going to upgrade to something in the same power range, you know? I like the idea of getting an R7 personally, because I like the idea of a street bike that isn't outrageous and fun talky, and it's not gonna tempt me to go Mark Jesus everywhere I go all the time. But of course, money. I don't need to buy myself another 450cc, something that's making similar power to this. Okay, I get it. It could be fun. If I had the chance to test ride one, I'm taking it immediately. You know that. I love my sports bikes, naked bikes, cruiser bikes, small bikes. I like them. But I'm not going to be upgrading to one. However, if I sell this bike and make a bit of money on the side, I could buy a 675 and have a good time. Is the bike for me though? That's a different question. As you know, I'm a big cruiser guy, so I don't know if I'd be upgrading to that, but say hypothetically, okay? It's a big hypothetical. If CF Moto brings out that V4 engine and they make their sports bikes, they make their super naked, what if they make a V4 cruiser, much like how they have the Diavel in Ducati? You know what I'm saying? I reckon you're probably going to start seeing them pop up here or there because people like muscle cruisers. People like the Indian Scout for one thing. It's not a full muscle cruiser. It's like an entry muscle cruiser. It's not stupid powerful, but most cruisers don't make 100 horsepower and rev to the moon. Okay, for a cruiser that is, not sports bike category. Muscle cruisers are your Diavel and your Triumph, Rocket 3, your bloody Boss Hosses, but let's be honest, they're in a league of their own. But it's nice to have an idea of a maybe. Now, just picture they bring out a V4 cruiser, okay? It's not even going to be that expensive. A Diavel, I think the V4 costs like 38, 40 grand now for the top model. I don't really like how the new V4 looks, I'm going to be honest. I think the new V4 from Ducati's Diavel, specifically the Diavel, nothing else, looks like they had an old school Diavel and a Panigale, and the Panigale reared the Diavel really hard, and now it's got the Panigale rear with the Diavel front. I think it's a confused design. I like the old V2 better, and I think the V2 suited the Diavel platform more. But I digress. Say you have the CLC bobber, now imagine they make a V4 version. Everybody usually likes the look of that bobber. It's very rare to find people that don't like the look of the CLC bobber. Belt driven, nice looks, low, slammed, gorgeous dash. A lot of people like the dash as well, right? Me included. Now just imagine they made a more powerful one with like bloody 160, 70 horsepower. Brother, that's ridiculous. Crikey, mate. I'm telling you, it would be bananas. And the ability to get one like that is a good thing for the market as a whole because it's showing other brands that CF Moto, 1, is not messing around and they are a force to be reckoned with. And 2, it's telling us that these other brands are ripping you off. You don't need to pay 30, 40 grand for a bike. That's good. You can pay $10,000 for a bloody high like horsepower triple CC bike. Triple CC, triple cylinder bike. But this is good because the market has gotten very inflated with prices lately. And I'm telling you, it's nice to have a brand that you don't need to take out a bloody mortgage on your house to be able to afford. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is, I think in the coming years, so I think we've still got a few more years of CF Moto development, they are going to become a lot more of a force to be reckoned with. And I'm just saying, lately, they've been smashing it. And I used to give them shit because it's, you know, the Chinese brands as the Chinese brands do. But I don't know. They're looking pretty good now. And in fact, in terms of other foreign brands, I think it's Bender. I think we're getting them here soon. They make a little 4-cylinder cruiser as well. They make a good few looking bikes. They make small CC bikes, but they're good looking. And I'm interested to see how they develop, honestly. If you know anything about Bender, leave me a comment down below, educate me, because I don't know much about them, but they do look kind of cool. But CF Moto, man, I'm telling you right now, look out for them, because they're certainly taking over, especially in the newbie category, and it's not a bad thing at all. If you have any thoughts or opinions on the CF Moto topic, ladies and gents, please leave a comment down below. I love to hear about it because discussion is what makes this fun. Yes, if you have any other questions, my arm is getting tired from holding a sledgehammer for bloody 10 minutes almost. Was it a good idea? I think so. I think it's funny. But other than that, leave a comment down below on your thoughts about CF Moto. If you've owned one, if you know people who have, how the reliability stories you heard, about them. I'd love to hear your tales about it. But ladies and gents, take it easy, keep it cheesy, and as always, peace. Bye!